I don't know if you know how we
Uh,
how we flow.
I will be honest, I don't. Typically with Bugsy and me, he
Yeah,
introduces one team, I introduce the other,
yeah,
and then we
yeah,
just
yeah,
kinda
yeah.
rip.
Yep, we
Yeah,
kind
you
exactly.
you introduce KSF, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, cool. So over on KSF side, we've got the Montana and Yamato. So the Yamato going to be able to bow in and shove giant shells in from any angle. We've got a Venezia, a Moskva, and a Stalingrad, and 4 destroyers. We've got a double Z-52. What? This is just insanity. Followed up by a Harugumo for mini cruiser type action and a Shimakaze. What's over on the other side?
Well, on the other side, we've got just a single Z-52, which you've got to expect is going straight into the B cap because just Hydro, that's going to be its job. Sit there in Hydro. Followed up with a Daring and then a Kleber for the long range engagements with damage saturation. Then you've got double Moskva, Stalingrad, and a Venezia out there that's hoping to find those 4 DDs and saying, ooh, yum, dinner, along with the Kremlin and Ohio in the battleship front. So the Kremlin's definitely going to be following the AYAME and just bowing and challenging.
So they've gotten rid of one of their Venezias, which I think is smart on the side of AYAME. The Zeds loving it. There's going to be islands that both Zeds can park behind, and they're going to be able to get some value for it. Let's see if they split up, and it looks like that's what they're doing.
All right. Well, we do see if we're trying to look at some initial deployments coming out of KSF, we have a Z-52 heading toward the Bravo side, and looks like it's going to be matched on the others, while another Z-52 from OnlyFans Borla is heading out wide to Charlie with a Harugumo. Harugumo could split the difference and catch between 2 Z-52s, choosing if he wants to help at Bravo, help at Charlie. Well, we've got a Moskva, Venezia, and Yamato going wide. That's a really heavy push over on Charlie. Whereas over on the A side, it's just a Montana of OnlyFans GM Schwartz. Oh man, that must be tough to say. And
Seriously.
then we've got Cable Guy kind of hiding behind an island, but looking to help for B, but not help A, as only Lego Party Australia is even there to contest. They might be looking to give up A.
And my first thought is, are we even allowed to say their full names? Because we have that ping from Conway in the streamer announcement saying you're not allowed to advertise
Their names
third
are their
party.
names.
Yeah.
Well, look at this
But
Kleber.
anyway,
He's going to be able to get shots on
Yeah.
Revan and D the moment
So,
Cherie spots him.
this is going to be brilliant. The Z-52 is set up there to Hydro. If he spots Revan, the Kleber is there, as you said, to just chunk him, force him behind the island. They're putting a hard push of cruisers into C. No DD over there, interestingly enough, but they have a Moskva they're going to shove up close along with the Venezia, the Kremlin, and the Stalingrad. So they are pushing with a heavy dose of Stalinium over there at C. Onto the side at A, you've got the Daring, which is sitting back. He's looking for the Torp angles right now. But you have the Moskva pushing up, and the Ohio is just floating along, waiting to drop 457mm shells on anything that shows up. And there's the action. Z-52 is spotted.
Counter Hydros, and Kleber is just waiting. Revan is going to, there it is, 6K down.
Yeah, big shells coming out. Z-52s both running away, doing the little DD dance as they wiggle their bottoms at each other, running for safety. And looks like they are both out of the cap and trying to juke shells. Cable Guy firing a few shots out super wide at a Moskva of Mizuhana, ignoring the Z-52 stuff in the center as more shells come from the Z-50, from the Venezia of Wombat. Makes a connection, about 10,000 shaved off in a single clump.
And you have to love the trade in the middle if you're the side of AYAME, because you spent 2K and you took off 4K, almost 5K off of Revan. That being said, the Z-52 shifting out, I'm interested to see where they're going to shove him. Is he going to go back into B on the far side now to make sure that he doesn't get shot by the Moskva of balls, or is he going all the way down to C and they're giving up B? Kleber and Daring pushing to A, so it looks like they're going to try to claim A and start ticking points over there.
Once again, we see KSF with the Shima Montana basically taking a cap on their own. This time they are going to get a little bit of help from Cable Guy, but he is not pointed anywhere in their direction. He's looking for cross shots on B and C.
Lego Party Australia actually has Twerp coming in on him. Nope, he's able to actually dead out before, but he does find himself in between the little bowling alley as OnlyFans GM Shorts has some shells coming in. The Montana over at Alpha against 2 DDs plus a Moskva Ohio. The Stalingrad of Cable Guy unable to render assistance as Schwartz is probably just going to be taking shell after shell. The Shimakaze of Lego Party Australia not looking to contest, but looking to spot instead and nothing more. So far, Charlie just kind of a staring contest, nobody making any moves as Bravo has fallen to KSF, and the points are slowly ticking over in their favor.
And this Moskva is not having fun right now. He's been getting chunked by that Venezia all game. 22,000 off of him already, and Wombat is just enjoying sending shells at him all the time. He's got to lock in on that island if he wants to stay alive. Update on the points. We're looking at about a 50,000 health advantage on the side currently of AYAME, but the points is only separated by 24, so this is clearly still anybody's game.
Moskva's still taking damage, but it's looking like KSF is going to be able to take B, giving up A, and this Montana, for the first time, is actually taking some big damage. He's down to 63,000 and is kiting away.
Looks like Schwartz has completed his game return in front of the guns of the enemy AYAME, and Shimikaze of Lego Party Australia is being pushed by the daring of Ganser. Garing is not going to be able to detect the Shimikaze unless the Shimikaze wants him to, but he does threaten him and push him back off. Shima dumps Torps and continues to run away as Montana shells come out and do not find purchase. A continuing to be in AYAME's favor, while B is held by KSF.
And it looks like it's stabilizing at C. We've now got the Z52 has moved over to C. And as I see, the Kleber of AYAME is pushing back towards B. But it looks like we're going to have a push in here at C. And we're starting to see that. I mean, you're not going to shove a Kremlin into the C cap unless you're ready to push. So I expect to see the Stalingrad coming around pretty soon. And the Moskva's found that spot where he can get angles on and shells onto the Venezia of Wombat without taking too much damage. Torp's out at this Z52. Is Cherie about to take a Torp, or is he going to Skinny Girl? Skinny Girl is successful maneuver, and the Venezia of Akira Manade did take a Torp, though, so he is down to half health and healing.
Harugumo's about to eat Torps. One.
Ooh.
Actually not bad. That could have been way worse.
Yeah. 10k off, though, is still no fun when you're at 2/3 health now for the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, they're moving the Harugumo out to be able to smoke up and potentially light this Kremlin on fire, but there's a Stalingrad and Moskva sitting there just waiting to radar him.
Daring Shima fight happening at A, by the way. Daring Shima fight happening at A.
Oh.
Looks like Lego Party Australia losing a good 6,000 health off to the Daring, who is rapidly tracing in pursuit. The only help coming from Schwartz over 15 kilometers away in Montana, unlikely to be able to bingo a Daring from that distance. A still being held by AYAME, and Bravo is contested. The Kleber of Grey Ghosto looking to push in against Ravon's Z52. So far, they haven't made contact, but he is blocking the cap, meaning AYAME
sorry
taking...
to interrupt, but Borla is getting absolutely eviscerated down at C, and yes, I know that is the 5th time I have said it.
Yep. Oh, Kremlin shots or Moskva shots miss. I think this is the end of Borla.
He's wiggling.
He's juking, he's jiving, shells coming in, fall left, right, center, and looks like the Z52 is going to make it out. He's actually far enough that Cherie cannot spot him. He slinks away with only 3,000 health. No heal on the Z52. He's going to be pushed out by Cherie and unable to come back in, even though it looks like Cherie is now taking shell fire. Big changes. The Kremlin of Livnik has parked himself in Charlie and is contesting the cap. He's pulling fire from the Harugumo of Aussie Zeus, but they're going to have to keep focused on him, and as Cherie is able to turn away after having driven off Borla, that destroyer is going to be able to get into sea and take it. That's probably happening in about a minute from now.
Well, and the Kleber has finally started engaging the Z52 and B, and he's going to push him off, and it looks like AYAME is going to be able to take C, B, and A. Where are these points coming from if you're KSF?
Right now, you have to regroup. I mean, your Z52 is down to 20k health right now. He can't fight Cherie. He will lose that fight every time. Your other Z52 is down 10k health in the middle, and your Shimikaze is also down 10k health. Your DDs need to regroup and play a lot more cautiously if you're going to pull this back out.
Yeah, it looks like KSF is trying to rally as the Montana and Shimmy have just decided to land directly on top of each other. The Montana pushing heavily with Lego Party party, Australia, and the Shima is making moves toward Alpha. Moskva radar is going to be there to greet him, and a Daring that definitely wants to brawl if he can. But with the Montana being so close, that makes it kind of risky. Still, looks like AYAME has dominantly taken C, even if they haven't gotten the cap yet, and driven KSF all the way back to the C line. And the cap contest in the middle continuing to happen, but Ravon lost the cap to Grey Ghosto of AYAME's Kleber.
I will say, A is about to be capped by the Shima. The Shima's in there, and the Moskva doesn't yet have... He just barely has the range to radar the Shima if he wants to. But I don't see him doing it yet. So that's going to be A stopped, which means right now the points are holding steady at about 80 points separating, with AYAME slightly in the lead over KSF.
Well, OnlyFans Borla has finally gotten some reprieve from the Z52, but he needs to move up to be able to spot, because you've got Cable Guy, the Harugamo, and the Z and B relying on him to be able to shoot at Livnik. And it looks like Livnik spotted.
Yeah, it looks like one of those torps from Asizu is going to connect to the Kremlin. Kremlin put his nose into C and tried to claim it, but really did take a lot of damage for the trade. He was unable to secure it, holding it instead for Cherie, making the long trip back. Cherie is now in the cap and about to lock in behind that island where nobody's going to get resets. That's going to be a huge full. Even though the Moskva is able to get the radar out, I don't see anybody able really to get the lines on here to get a reset, but shells are out towards Cherie.
And it looks like we've got Daring pushing Montana Shima while they were briefly able to get A. Daring has been spotted, and Montana is able to get a big hit, 5K, but there's torps headed in his direction.
And Cherie's not quite able to take it right now. The Harugamo does just have the ability to get over that island for as long as the radar's going. But that radar is going to be ticking out soon. And with no Des Moines in the game to keep that 50-second radar going and just the short radar of the Russians instead, now Cherie's just going to smoke up, and he's going to sit quietly and happy in the cap, waiting to finish it out.
Oof, big Yamato shells rip into Livnik as he's turning to try to get out and recover some form of health. Dips down to about 3,000, but the heal carries him all the way back up to 10. Some shells out from the Venezia do not connect as the Kremlin's able to disengage with over 13,000 health. Meanwhile, C does fall to AYAME. That's 2 caps to 1. Granted, both caps are contested for A and B. Still, AYAME is going to start ticking up points and get back to that 40-point commanding lead that they had earlier in the match.
Well, it looks like Montana's taken 1 torp from the Daring, and the Daring is going back into A. Ohio is on this Montana as well as the Moskva. I don't think Schwartz is... Yeah, I don't think he's going to be living for much longer.
Shots out from the Moskva. Is Kingsman going to finish him off?
Oh, Montana goes ahead and fires, thinking he's down for the world, down to 53, and the Daring opens up, looking for that last little golden BB to connect. More shots up from the Moskva. That's going to be the kill. That's going to leave a Shimakaze on Alpha with no assistance. That's not a way to take back A. Looks like KSF is staring at 3 caps that they do not control. How did they get in?
Well, step 1 is these torps that are going out on the Stalingrad. Do we hit any of them at Raimu that's sitting there trying to hold the spot between the islands? You take one, but you still got a commanding position that you need to get him out of there. But, I mean, with a 60,000 health differential, that is big. That being said, the Venezia, if the Stalingrad has to back up again, the Venezia will have an AP broadside on him. We'll have to watch. But I think the push is going to come at C, and that's where the challenge is going to be.
Well, there's nothing stopping this Daring at A to just gun down Lego Party, push him out, which is going to allow your Ohio to swivel over and your Moskva to be able to push down. And once they kind of get that all-encumbering look on the backside, Zed goes down. Another Zed takes a big chunk.
Yes, that's brutal.
Yeah, KSF down yet another ship. That's going to be leaving them only 3 destroyers remaining, and none of their destroyers have a lot of health. They're going to need destroyers for caps, and they don't have them, and you start seeing the panic button has been pushed. Shadow Wolfish pushing forward in a Yamato, the Yamasko of Balls moving forward, trying to claim some attempt at space, but simply eating withering Venezia fire for the trouble. Cherie, however, being spotted, shells coming in, dunk him down to 10,000, more shells coming in, down to 8. Is he going to get him? He's trying to pull away. Maybe if he can get around the corner, he'll be able to take this, but he gets the torps off towards Shadow Wolfish. Looks like he's going to be taking 2. Might actually take another 2 more with that follow-up salvo.
And with the fact that this is an almost 500-point lead, the health differential is ballooned to 120k. Revan is down to under 1,000 health. As GP and I say all the time, DDs and spotting wins you games, and I mean, that's all gone from the side of AYAME right now. That's all gone. And Shadowfish does go down to the Torps. Just enough. Oh, sorry, that was the Kleber Torps. Kleber, is he going to get the double strike? Oh, and the Kleber, he trades his life, but he does pull off the double strike, and that, I'm pretty sure, is going to do it. I don't see where they come back from that.
Double strike and sweet dreams indeed, declared from a French Kleber, as that takes down 2 ships in Charlie that was actually claimed in the KSF's direction, but in 1 minute and 7 seconds, those points are going to tick over, and AYAME is going to close out game 3, unless we see a ship going down. Ravon taking shells at 800, but they do not connect.
And I mean, the Stalingrad right now, Daring Ganser is so confident, he's just open water gunboating. There goes Revan. That means we have 17 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, barring a miracle here, that will be AYAME going through to the next round of the losers bracket, still fighting for a chance to go to internationals and claim a portion of that $30,000 US prize pool. GG, well played to both of these teams. It was a phenomenal series, but AYAME comes up just a bit better.